Hello and welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. In this video, we'll be looking at the daily price fluctuations of different cryptocurrencies or digital assets like XRP, Stellar Lumens, Ethereum, Litecoin, and the safe haven asset of the traditional financial industry, gold. Then we'll look some of the news, updates, and Twitter posts. So first, looking at cryptocurrencies in Coin Paprika, more or less, for some cryptocurrencies it's green, but for some it's red. But more or less, there is no much price fluctuation for the day. Now, let's dive into our chart analysis. So previously, on the last video, we were actually talking about a trend line forming, and we'll hopefully get a potential third touch on that trend line. So as far as I say this, we almost have a trend line here. So if the price is not breaking below that, then yeah, we have a valid trend line which is moving up. Because if we note this, we also have to see that there will be standard deviations, right? If we put in three line, say this is the middle, this is top and bottom. So if we take this distance and place it below this, we can say that as our standard deviation. If we are connecting all the closes and then measuring the distance between the center and the bottom and placing almost, say, the similar distance here, that's the standard deviation at the top and bottom. So if you place that, you'll understand whether the price is still within the standard deviation or it's went out of the trend. So as far as I'm concerned, I still think that it is within the standard deviation, because if you look at the touches here, the previous one and the current one, say this was a quick one, this was a quick one. Yeah, this was not that quick, I agree, but still it's maintaining that level. So if the price is actually moving down, then yeah, that trend is not valid again. But if we zoom out a little bit and look at the chart, say in a daily time frame, what we can see is there is some kind of similarity between XRP and XLM. So this is the chart of XLM. If you see that, yeah, there was a rise there, but if you look at what was happening there, the Stellar has actually put in a rounded bottom. And we also were talking about a rounded bottom for XRP from our previous video. We also have something similar here. So if we look here, we had a pump here, then it crashed back, creating a new low. So if we look at Stellar, it's the same. It went up, then crashed back, making a new low. Now slowly moving up, then a sudden pump. But that was resisted by the 200-day moving average. So now in this, the blue line is 20-day moving average, red one is 50, and yellow is 200-day moving average. So now for Stellar Lumens, the 200-day moving average has become a resistance. Thus now this area is like previously support and currently a resistance area. Now if the price is able to break this, we will move high. So looking in the similar way, XRP also have a rounded bottom, and the 200-day moving average is a resistance. At the same time, the 50-day moving average is currently in or out. We are around that. So it can become a support if we move up a bit, but if we do move down, that then it will become a resistance for us. So for Stellar Lumens also, if we look at weekly time frame and the MACD, we can see that the MACD has a cross and it's in positive territory. And for XRP also, it's the same. So more or less, hopefully in coming days, we can see a price movement. Now looking at Ether, if we look at the daily MACD, it's actually showing, let's say the price is gonna have a negative cross here. But at the same time, for the price, we have 50-day and 20-day moving average crossing in a positive direction. Our 20 is actually crossing the 50. It's a positive, and the price is above that. So currently both of them will be acting as a support, and the overhead resistance will more or less be the 200-day moving average, the main one, key one, which is high about 210. But we will have to surpass small resistance levels such as 195 and 200 first. So once we do that, the price can actually move a bit high than that, because if we look at the trend, say the downtrend, how it was moving, because the Ether and LTC is showing something similar. If we put this channel here for Ether, we can see that the trend has moved out. It broke high. Now if we look at Litecoin also, we can see something similar. It also broke the wedge, the falling wedge on the upside, and now for both LTC and Ether, the 20-day and 50-day moving average is acting as a support. So that's actually a positive thing for the coins. So if we zoom out and look at it in a weekly perspective, I don't know how many of you will be trading based on the weekly charts, but I believe this gives reduces the volatility, so it can reduce the risk. Yeah, you will have to wait for longer time frame, but when you look at the weekly, you can see that the 200-day moving average for LTC is acting as a support here, and the MACD is gonna cross in a positive. So comparing both, say the 200-day moving average and the MACD cross, it's more or less believable source. If the price is above the 200-day moving average and you got a MACD cross, the price can move higher. So that's considering or comparing with the previous highs. If the price is above the moving average, 200-day moving average, say in weekly, and you are getting a positive cross there, so automatically the price can actually move high. But for Ether, the 200-day moving average is a resistance here, but for LTC it's not. So hopefully even based on the last time, if we consider that LTC moved up high first, it was leading the pack. Yeah, sooner or later Ether also followed that. Now let's look at gold. This is the safe haven asset for the traditional financial industry. Now this is actually a zoomed out view of longer time frame, when we are actually looking at, say, from 2007. So this was the during the just before the recession. When the recession hits the market, the price actually went up. Look, as you can see, from 650 it went up to 1024. Then it consolidated and corrected back by 2009, then slowly started moving up, and it reached around $1,900. So just say that's just 2 years, and the price went up high. Since then, the price was actually moving down, slowly crashing, and it reached a bottom around $1,000. Then we can see that there is a consolidating area which was formed from mid 2013, and we just broke that mid 2019. So we actually spent around 6 years there. So now I personally believe that this area will actually act as like this line will be acting as a support from now on, and this is uptrend which is following here. So if the price actually fall back, then it can move lower somewhere around 1,400, where at that time, say the 200 moving average will be above 1,400. So if the price is crashing down, then it may act as a resistance. But comparing to the previous uptrends of gold during a recession or just prior to that, we can see that when the moving average is too high, it's getting closer or just correcting a bit below the 50-day moving average, as we are doing here, and then staying at that particular area, dropping a bit, then rising again. So here we saw that we actually moved up high, corrected back, touched, crossed the 50-day moving average and came near to the 200-day moving average, and then moved up high. So if this is a smaller frame of this one, Then now I hope we are looking at a bit of correction and then consolidation, then movement higher. People will be accumulating at this area. Now this is just my perspective, not the financial advice, so you guys just do the trade. Hopefully you guys also look at the charts, use your own indicators, and prior to starting a position you can validate your decision whether to buy or sell or just wait for your price lot. Now looking at the news, now there are some news which says positive and there are some which states negative. Like this is for XRP. The writer is actually targeting XRP and saying that the price of XRP is going to fall down. The end is near for XRP. But there is also positive news saying that the XRP is visiting the key level. So like for this particular article, when he has actually drawn his trend line here, saying that now the price is below that. But as far as I'm concerned, if I were to line a resistant trend line here, I would be putting at the touches here, one, then here and here. So that for me is above the trend line. So which is more or less similar perspective to that of this particular writer. Now for this one, companies can make payments in billions through Bank of America applications. Now, you know, the payments industry is actually being disrupted by the fintechs. Now the banks has to catch up with that. Either they have to partner with some kind of fintech or they are gonna get crucified. This is a former central bank governor of India, Raghuram Rajan. In here he's actually talking about something special, which is like, say all the countries are going to digitalize or tokenize their currency, say digital dollar, digital yen, digital rupees. Now they have to connect this, right? Still they have to change from one currency to another, and they need a bridge asset. And what you have to listen here is he's actually naming that. He's naming our favorite coin as a bridge. So if we hear that for just couple of seconds.
Digital dollar, there's a digital renminbi. Perhaps at the periphery it may make the exchange transaction easier, but you may still need an intermediary sort of facilitator of the kind that we've talked about, such as XRP. If the world...
You see, even the central bank governors, he's a previous one, former, so he's also accepting that XRP can act as a bridge asset. Now this is a Twitter post by Mr. BXRP. He's here actually talking about whether the price is going to go up high, as he talked to Joel Katz, which is David Schwartz, asking whether he personally holds XRP. So his reaction, if he says yes, was okay, and if it's with a clear and smiley face, that will tell the answer, right? It will put the things right. So here they also hold that, and there's one video here of David Schwartz in which he states that now the volume is actually starting to come up, and they don't care about the price currently because they believe in the long-term price and utility of XRP. Now this one validates that. This is from FCA of England, defined XRP as a utility token. This post is from Stephen Bull from Day. If you look at that closer, you can understand that they are actually showcasing coins in different titles: exchange token, utility tokens, and tokens may have, no, this is under this different one. Tokens may have mixed features that may overlap with above categories, say the exchange token, utility token, or it can act as both or others. Like XRP, it can act as a bridge asset, it can be a payment asset, it can be a utility asset. So in the same, for example, Ether can be used as a means of payment, exchange token on Ethereum platform. You know, if you're using Ripple Ledger, you can use XRP as well, and can also be used to run applications, utility token, and XRP has similar features. So this is a governmental authority coming up and stating that. So I don't think say another country is gonna say no, XRP is a security, because that will be contradictory, right? Now looking at the next post, this writer is showing that, or at least arguing that the Altseason may be finally upon us and anticipates a rapid price increase. So if Bitcoin is going to correct a bit lower and then move up high, slowly I believe if you compare that, alt can actually move up high, because that's a support area being created, and if the market dominance move slowly high, the altcoins will actually rally. Now looking at the cryptos, we can actually see that the price is more or less stagnant, but while zooming in, say for an hourly chart, what we can recognize here is for XRP, it's still below the moving averages, say 20, 50 and 200. But if you look at 4 hours, so that's not that zoomed in like 30 minutes or an hour, but it gives a clear picture, more or less. Here the 20-day moving average is actually given a dead cross, which is not a good sign, but at the same time the MACD is gonna cross to the positive side. So in the daily, it can actually consolidate here a bit and then slowly move up high. But this is cryptocurrency, right? Nothing is predictable. It can move suddenly up high or just break the trend down and come up afterwards. So the weak hands will actually get worried and sell all their positions. Like the standard guys are saying here, they are waiting for the long time value, because XRP is a currency which has that utility in it. This is again another post from Stephen Bull from Deep, is showing another all-time highs. So we are seeing the similar all-time highs in stock market, right? But that's being there at the top for some time now. Making all-time high means say $5 up, $6 up, but that's also all-time highs, right? But this is just started. The party is just started. It's gonna move in this direction for a long time now. That's my personal opinion. So hopefully you guys like my content. So do subscribe and like the contents I'm providing. Hopefully by tomorrow morning I'll come up with another video with a lot of information. So see you guys then.